Well, Whitey, we got the ladies this week on Top Star Bowling.
Jack, and you'd be surprised how these women can bowl, and I know we've seen some good matches on Top Star, but wait till you see this.
Hi, welcome to Top Star Bowling. I'm Jack Buck. I'll be joining Whitey Harris inside, and we're hoping that you'll be joining us here at the Marlboro Lanes, featuring the ladies this week on Top Star Bowling. And welcome to Top Star Bowling. I'm Jack Buck. I'll be introducing Whitey Harris further in just a moment. And this is a match that a lot of us have been waiting for. We're featuring the gals this week, and we have two of the very, very best. Let me tell you that we're at the Marlboro Lanes in the village of Marlboro, southwest of the city of St. Louis, commonly called the Gateway to the West. And we have two young ladies, and I know you know of both of them. They're bowling a three-game match. Total pins count, $1,000 to the winner, and $500 to the loser on our feature match. We had the men last week, the men next week, but as I say, this is one that a lot of us have been waiting for. We have a fine gathering on hand. We're happy that you tuned in. Let's greet the gal who is annually the Bowler of the Year and almost annually the winner of the BPA All-Star Tournament from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Marion Ladewig. See you.
Thank you, Jack. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to have you here, and I know you're going to reward us with some of your fine bowling. Let's meet Marion's opponent, a youngster from Kansas City, a gal whom Marion defeated in the World's Invitation. How could you do that to a little girl like that, Marion?
Wasn't easy.
She's a good one, isn't she?
Terrific.
And she beat you shortly after in the tournament in Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
So we've got a little evening up or getting ahead, or however you want to refer to it, to be accomplished here in this session. Let's meet this young lady from Kansas City. Started bowling at the age of 4, and that was only a couple of years ago for Judy Audsley. Judy, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You have 5 grandchildren.
Yes, I have.
None this old, Marion, huh?
2 bowlers, though.
Oh, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You're not married?
No.
The stage
So
is...
I don't have any grandchildren.
I thought better of it, but you didn't, right? Well, I know that both of you girls are primed and ready to go, having practiced on the lanes, and so with a handshake, away we'll go, and I know we'll all enjoy watching Marion Ladewig and Judy Audsley.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. 3 games, total pins, here on Top Star Bowling. The youngster, Judy Audsley, is our leadoff bowler. And away we go. She's on lane 21. Look at the way she goes to that line. And a bit on the nose, leaves the 4-7.
I think that was one of her slow pitches, Jack. She's not warmed up yet.
This young gal was the Kansas City match game champion at age 16. Learned to bowl from her dad. And she gets the 4-7 for the square. She came pretty close to not covering that one here at the outset. Now Marion Ladewig on lane 22, and you're going to see a contrast in styles here at the Marlboro Lanes. And before I go any further, let me tell you that this event is sanctioned by the WIBC, the Women's International Bowling Congress. The lanes are certified by ABC. Marion is on the nose. She didn't get away quite as well as Judy did as she leaves the 6-7. Marion from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Judy Audsley from Kansas City. Alongside me at the microphone, Jerome Whitey Harris, a member of the Brunswick Advisory Staff of Champions. You'll be hearing and enjoying his comments as we go along. And she gets the 9 count. Did it appear, Whitey, that she was trying to pick that split or just go on for the pin?
No, I think probably Marion was trying to pick the split, Jack, for at this time of the game, it's so early, they'll gamble on the split. Now, later on, where pins really mean something, why, she'd go for that 1 pin.
And now Marion moves over to lane 21. thin hit, almost carries. A 7-pin remains. I mentioned at the outset that Marion has been the BPAA All-Star champion so many times that you can't enumerate the years. Won the World's Invitational quite a few times. Woman Bowler of the Year so often. Michigan's Woman Athlete of the Year. And she gets her first mark. Judy applauds her for getting that spare. On a show like this, even though they are competing for a lot of money, $1,000 to the winner and $500 to the loser, why, all of the performers, men and women alike, like to see even their opponents do well, bowl well, score well. And the 8-10. The ball wasn't quite turning for her. Whitey, you could actually see that one and almost expected something of this sort.
I think she realized it, too, because when she turned around, Jack, it looked as though she looked down, maybe to check where she had been at the foul line. It's very important to what area these bowlers get when they get up to the line. She evidently wasn't close enough to that line.
So this is going to even it up pretty much. As Judy gets the 8th in. She's a little cutie, a very personable gal.
You recall interviewing her one time?
A year ago. She was featured on Top Star Bowling last year. She's down the nose and leaves another split, this time the 3-10. Do they both bowl a full-size bowling ball, Whitey?
Yes, and that you mean by the weight, don't you, Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, 16-pound, yeah. Here we'll see Judy shooting for the 3-10, and like all bowlers should do, she's to the left on the approach, Jack. She'll try to go between the 3 and the 10.
And she got it. She has 27 through the second with a spare up.
I'm hot this week. I called that one.
Oh, yeah. She was going to drop behind there if she failed to convert that split. It would have been 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Marion again almost carried over there and leaves the 7-pin just as she had done in the previous frame. Last week on Top Star Bowling, we saw Ray Bluth beat Steve Nagy with a 626 series. And so a little time off for Ray, and he'll be coming back to take on Wayne Zahn next week on Top Star Bowling. Marion covers the 7-pin. Say, there's that young lady who turns out for all of these matches, Whitey, and she even showed up to watch the gal, so I know now that she is a true bowling enthusiast.
Yes, I imagine so, Jack, because definitely that's what she's here for, and she's seeing some real good bowling, too.
We've had no strikes as yet. And Marion leaves the 4-6. So that is her second split. The best game that Marion has bowled, a 290. She has had a 742 series. She has averaged 204 in league play. And she gets a 9 count again. She started with an open, then 2 spares, another open. She has 55 through the 4th. And it took a Brooklyn to give us our first strike of the game. Boy, she was right over that center arrow, Eddie. She really goes up there in a hurry, doesn't she?
Yeah, well, I think she has to have a fast approach, Jack, because she's so small, and they get that full swing of that ball and really put it out there.
I know I'll never be able to bowl as well as she. I just wish I could run as fast as she can run. And the 4-pin keeps her from getting the double. Judy is in the 5th frame. The lanes here at Marlborough are sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. And as I indicated, the appearance on the part of the gals in Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the WIBC. $1,500 in prize money involved in this special. 1,000 to the winner, 500 to the loser, and she ran right by it and knew she was going to do it, and so she opens, and each has 2 opens.
That can happen, Jack, when it's just a matter of being a little bit too overconfident. She just threw that ball out there. You got to work on these spares just as well as you do on that first ball.
5th frame for Marion Ladewig. High backswing, And she leaves a 2-pin. Has an unusually high backswing for a lady bowler, Whitey.
Yes, and we'll note, Jack, that when she's up there again, we've commented at different times, Marion also takes a good look at the ball to see how it's positioned in her hand. Just glances down.
There's her spare in the 5th frame. So Judy Audsley opened in the 5th and has a total of 74. And Marion Ladewig has a spare in the 5th, 55 through the 4th. Marion still cannot find that strike. Yes, Laverne Carter and Joy Abel are also featured bowlers on Top Star Bowling. Now Marion with a spare. So Marion has 74 through the 5th, Judy 75. So Judy has a 1-pin lead as she bowls in the 6th. How's that for a ball? And were it not for that 4-pin in the 5th frame, the younger one would have 3 in a row. Marion is very proud of the fact that she is grandmother of 5. I thought that thin hit might carry, and I bet you did too as you watched it. So there's the first double of the game.
Would you say that's quite an infectious grin as she comes back after a double, Jack?
Yes, it is.
These strikes can really make you feel happy, but we'll see if Marion accepts the challenge and puts one in there herself.
Marion comes away with another split, the 4-10 this time. And that is her 3rd split of this game. You know, you talk about the grin on the part of Judy when she got the strike, and that's the joy of bowling for the ladies, no matter what their circumstance in life might be. The mother who is stuck at home with the kids most of the day. Or the working gal who has to put in that 5-day week or the 6-day week. Very few opportunities for leisure time, entertainment. That's where bowling fits so very nicely into the picture. Mother and daughter get-togethers. Atta girl, Marion. She bounced right back from that split with a big strike in the 8th, and now Judy Audsley goes up there looking for 3. I'd like to pass a word more about mothers and daughters bowling along to you. To organize a mother and daughter group in the area, contact your bowling proprietor. He knows how to do it, and he'd be very happy to do it. Look at her run to that line. Yeah. Didn't carry the 5-pin. Pretty much the same thin hit that got her the strike previously on 21.
She had good mixing action, Jack. This time I just didn't take the ball back. Didn't take that 5-pin out.
She wasn't grinning this time. She was grim.
Chagrim?
5-pin goes down. You notice how long she stared at the path of the ball. She'll make use of the information gleaned from that pitch, too.
Jack, all the bowlers, they were asked a lot of times, when they're holding their hand above that terminal, they're using the Brunswick hand dryer to dry up their hand. I know people are always asking, what are they doing there?
This is the 9th frame, and it leaves the 3-10 for the 2nd time. She converted it in the 3rd frame. Ninth frame for Judy. She has had 2 opens, a split and a miss. Marion has had 3, all on splits. Let's see if Judy can cover this twice in one game. Nope. There's a 9 count, so she opens in the 9th, and neither is getting off to a very auspicious beginning. 151 through the 9th for Judy. Now, if Marion wants to catch her, she has to make use of that strike she has working in the eighth. Just give her a little opening. After a 6-7 split, a 4-6, and a 4-10, Marion gets rid of one of those opens with a double, closes the gap. And as a result of Judy
She's studying,
having
Jack.
opened in the ninth.
She's studying up there.
Marion in the 10th frame, looking for 3 in a row. And that is her 4th split. She didn't quite get to the line properly. She could have had a respectable total with it all up until this one. She could have totaled 191 if she could have struck out. Goes after the 4-pin, gets a field goal instead, and Marion ends with 155. So whatever Judy gets here in the 10th frame will pretty much indicate the pin difference. What in the world's going on? It's going to be a close one when it's over. She had a split in the 9th, and so with this split, she's going to end up with 160 most likely and a 5-pin lead. She goes for the 6, trying to get a little action out of it. Almost good. What's she looking back up here for? Judy Audsley in the first game, 160. And Marion Ladewig, 155. Well, at the end of the first game, Marion Ladewig is ahead 4 splits to 3. And Judy, of course, has had one additional open with a miss. Hence the reason for the closeness of the score, 160 to 155. Both gals have voted to start over, but we're not going to let them do it. We're going to make them bowl 600 with this first game as a handicap. Let's watch the second game here on Top Star Bowling.
I don't know if we ever get.
Now let's see how Marion Ladewig starts here in the second game. Flora 4 splits held her down to 155 in our opener. Just did get to the head pin, leaves the 2-5. I'm sure that the pressure of a relatively poor game will not affect Marion's work one bit. She'll come back like the champion she is, and that is easily predicted. There's the 2-5 covered for the mark. See Judy applauding her, even though Marion's after the $1,000. Judy wants to see her do well, and I'm certain it applies in reverse.
Right up until now. When Judy gets up on that approach, she wants to win, Jack.
She's left the 5-pin before. Indication that her ball isn't driving through there for her. In the All-Star Finals, 33 games, not too far back, Judy averaged over 194. And then in a 48-game World's Invitational Final, she averaged over 196. So they each spare in the first frame of our second game.
Jack, for her size, she stands almost at the end of the approach. That's where she builds up a lot of her speed by taking the 5 steps.
Whoa! You can't hit him any better than that. She doesn't seem to be easily disturbed by the transpirings out there.
Oh, but inwardly, I bet she's burning.
I don't think so. You can't grin like that and be burning up inside.
I've seen you sometimes do that.
Now, that was a different kind of a grin. Chagrin, but not really.
Jack, she almost should have, because she missed a pin over there, the 4-pin in the first game, on that same lane, so it was just a matter of misjudging on her part.
Marion Ladewig gets on a strike in the second frame. Both of these ladies are quite petite. Nonetheless, able to stand the grueling grind of prolonged bowling tournaments. And she leaves the bucket, the 2-4-5-8. You've been to a bowling center lately on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon? Even if you don't bowl, you can have a lot of fun watching the youngsters. One more reason why bowling's so great. Even the youngsters get in on the fun. A great family sport is bowling. Let's see if Marion can cover all four of these. Yep. So the bucket didn't hurt her too much, in as much as she had a strike working for her. So she has 40 through the second with a spare. She has overcome the 5-pin deficit with which she started, taken the lead. Judy Audsley with a spare, then a miss. Does a little getaway. Leaves a 6-pin.
Jack, see there behind the score is Mrs. Audsley, who has been responsible, I guess, in a sense, for Judy getting where she is, because they had a bowling lane in Kansas City, and that's she taught her when Judy was coming up at the age of 4, like you mentioned.
And it would be difficult for a young girl to do all of the traveling and do all of the competing in the tournaments without the cooperation of some very cooperative parents. So Judy has profited from that. You keep messing around with that head pin, you get a few getaways, as Judy profited from in the third, but not here in the fourth. 4-6-10. Judy had 3 strikes in the first game, and Marion had only 2. But Marion has the only strike in this one, and Judy threw that one away. She's getting a little regusted with herself. She'll do something about it. Marion rocked it, but didn't get the strike. She had a spare up in the third. This is the 4th frame for her. I imagine, Whitey, with regard to Miss Audsley, her approach is so rapid and her delivery so strong that she has to be right on line in order to score well. Very little margin for error.
That's right, Jack. And of course, she's young and she's improving in competitive bowling. I think she'll probably end up where she will be. Her approach will be a little bit more slower. She hits a lot of strikes right into the bugle, chases them over the Brooklyn at different times. But this is like anyone that's coming up. They're a little wild, erratic at different times. It's through inexperience.
This is the 5th frame for Marion. Beautifully in the pocket that time with her 2nd strike of the game, giving her a total of 79 through the 4th with a strike. I bet the young gal has a lot of people rooting for her now in the audience and those who are viewing on TV. She keeps firing at that head pin, Whitey.
Like I said before, Jack, this is her style of bowling, and if she's a margin off, we've talked about matter of inches in games. Well, this is what's happened here. She's just off a 1/16 of an inch, and that's what's throwing that ball into the snoot.
It came pretty close, didn't she? Well, she's smiling again anyhow. So through the 5th, Judy has 61. Marion has 79 through the 4th with a strike. 3 opens in the first 5 frames. Atta girl. Hey. almost feel like you're watching your daughter out there bowl, don't you?
Well, Jack, I think some of the reasons why she glances up here, we've taken Judy out on some of our Learn to Bowl clinics and getting her involved more in instructors' classes. So we kid her a lot with her because if she's an instructor, she's got to bowl good. And I guess she's thinking of that now, what's happening to her game.
There's a double for Marion Ladewig. And Judy knows as well as anybody else that she better not allow her opponent to get too far out in front. Marion has 79 through the fourth, now with a double, looking for three, bowling in the seventh frame. We're in the second game. Judy won the first game by 5 pins. Oh, whoop. Could well have had three, but didn't get it. Perhaps Judy can double when she comes up there in the seventh. She doubled in the sixth and seventh in the first game, by the way.
Marion takes the 4 steps, Jack, and this is what she teaches in a lot of her courses for the average bowler going to the foul line.
There's her spare in the seventh frame, so Judy Audsley has 61 through the fifth with a strike. Marion Ladewig has 128 through the sixth with a spare. Judy Audsley is up in the seventh frame, and she has a strike working. She direly needs one here. May well have it. And the 7 went down. She's going to have to shoot only at the 5 pin. But I imagine she's disappointed that she didn't carry the 5. That was a pretty good hit, Whitey. The ball just didn't finish for her.
Just didn't kick it out. There's no explanation for it, Jack.
Looked like it was rolling well. Seventh frame, so trying to come back on the strike. And this will give her 81 through the sixth. Each has a spare in the seventh. Marion is 47 pins ahead in this game and 42 overall in the match. Trying to get on a strike again. And leaves a 1-2-4. So 7 count on that spare she had working. Judy Audsley from Kansas City. And she got the spare. Makes you feel old, Whitey, when you look down and see that Judy was born in June of 1944, doesn't it?
Makes me look old when I look down when Marion Ladewig was born.
Marion has a spare working. She's in the 8th frame. And leaves the 2-5.
But actually, you're true, Jack. There's such a great movement of the younger bowlers reaching this point of being so good. I think sometime on Top Star Bowling, people have opportunity to see someone like Ted Huffman Jr. from Philadelphia. And this is going on all over.
So the oldsters, if I may use that phrase, have to continually look to their laurels. She has 146 through the 7th with a spare. Judy has 98 through the 7th with a spare. Now the important 9th frame. Marion has had 3 strikes in this game. I think, I don't know, this may be just maybe a false impression. Both seem a bit timid after the many strikes they encountered. Hesitant to throw at that head pin. Think that could be?
I don't know unless maybe the way they figured these things out, Jack, they weren't too sure of the strike they got or the ball they threw.
Marion has been very accurate on the spares, and the misses have hurt Judy. She missed a 4-pin in the first game, and she missed a 7-pin in the second.
I'll get to it after a while, Jack. It's just something about Marion.
All right. Here's Judy in the 9th. Atta girl. There's her ball right there. It's only her second strike. She had but 3 in the first game. Now she'd like to strike it out. She's in the roll-off right now. Could end with 178. Marion Ladewig's going to be ahead at the end of the second game, no matter. And couldn't get the double. 4-7.
storytelling time on Judy, Jack. When she was about 9 years old, Buzz Fazio, who you'll see on Top Star Bowling, went to their bowling lanes in Kansas City to bowl a match. So they couldn't find anybody to bowl anything. So Mr.
Don't
Audsley,
tell me.
Mr. Audsley said, I had to
She took
stop,
the 4
Jack.
right off that 7.
It's a shame to continue the story because of that miss there. But anyway, Mr. Audsley said, well, how about bowling this little girl here? And the surprising thing about it, at 9 years old, in one single game, she beat Buzz Fazio in this exhibition.
Marion leaves the 7-pin as Judy ends with 146. So she started with 160, and everybody figured she'd get better, and instead it was 146 in the second game.
Well, not alibis, Jack, but women don't have the opportunities of participating, we'll say, on television shows as much as the fellas do.
There's a spare for Marion. So she's going to be over the 200 mark with a worthwhile hit here.
So the point I'm getting to is that this is probably Judy, I guess, if it's been once or twice that she's ever been under the lights or in a condition like this, which is altogether different when they roll these long, the long matches.
Marion ends with 203. In the second game, Judy Audsley rolled 146 for a 306 total. Marion Ladewig had a worthwhile 202 and a total of 357. Before Marion and Judy determine the winner on this week's Top Star Bowling, and before we go into our third and final game, we can't bowl here in St. Louis and film Top Star Bowling without introducing some of the fine baseball personalities that we have. And we have one here for you now. One of the greatest second basemen that the game of baseball has ever known, Albert Red Shanedine. How you doing, Red?
Oh, real good, Jack.
These gals really knock him down, don't they?
I'll tell you one thing. I'd start another career. I'd go to pitching if I could throw a baseball the way they throw a curve on this bowling ball.
You had that big hook going for you, huh?
Well, I'd be a winner.
You're not a bad bowler. I've seen you bowl. You could get next to this game if you spend a little more time, huh?
Well, I bowl quite a bit in the wintertime. In the summertime, I don't get too much time. Of course, when we're on the road, I get out a few times.
You know, there are a lot of ball players are good bowlers. Roy Sievers, Frank Bauman. Who are some of the others?
Well, very good. Charlie Deering. And we have a number of them here in St. Louis, which we do pretty good. We always could beat the press and radio here in St. Louis.
Hey, he's talking about an annual event we have here. Red, continue to enjoy the match. I know you've enjoyed it so far, and we wanted the people here to meet you and those who tune in to Top Star Bowling. Good luck in your bowling venture and continued success in your fine baseball career.
Jack, and good luck to the girls here.
Red Shanedine's our guest. And now even more excitement on Top Star Bowling, the third and final game, Marion Ladewig and Judy Audsley. Judy Audsley leads things off in the third game. And come on, 5-pin.
Jack,
Look at
that
that
5-pin is waving, and of course, when the automatic comes down and touches it, that's it. It must be replaced, and that's what happened. Replaced it back on the spot, and it's still waving.
It actually looked like that 5-pin was lodged between two others that were down, and it just couldn't fall.
I think you're right. That's what actually happened.
Well, if Judy didn't already know things were going badly with a 160 and a 146, well, that should have proven the point to her. And now Marion Ladewig, who came on with a 202 second game, crosses over and leaves the 610.
Jack, usually when Marion's in competition, there's always a familiar cry comes out of the stands. That a gal, and of course this is Bill Morrissey, who actually coached Marion through the many years that she has gone on to a lot of championships. Bill Morrissey, he's from around Grand Rapids.
Marion going for the 610 in the spare. Miss Ladewig 51 pins ahead at the start of the third game. Now each has a spare in the first frame. had 3 strikes in the second game. He's down the Brooklyn and gets a strike, and she'll take it. Next week on Top Star Bowling, it'll be Ray Bluth against Wayne Zahn. And more trouble for the youngster. Six confronts her. Miss Audsley had 2 splits and 2 misses in the second game. Takes down the 6 pin. And she had 4 splits in the first game, 2 in the second, and 1 here.
I think, Jack, will you be talking to Marion and Judy after this match?
Mm-hmm.
I bet if you would ask Judy just how her feeling is on this, she'd be honest with you, being it's one of her very rare times that she's been exposed to television.
And now the 8-10, indicating a pretty good hit.
Not alibiing for these bowlers that you see on Top Star Bowling, but I don't think there's many bowlers can come up here with everything that's around here, the atmosphere, plus shooting for the money, that they can get up there and bowl their natural game, no matter if they are pros.
You all know the 9 count for Judy, who has 8 splits in the match so far. And Marion Ladewig has a strike. And being the pro-type bowler that she is, she's not going to let up one bit, regardless of the score. Over they go for a double. Marion wants to protect her own reputation, of course, and end with a worthwhile total. She has 357 at the end of 2 games.
I forget, once in an interview, you asked her if she thought she'd like to bowl in competition against men.
Mm-hmm.
Well, being as I belong to that sex, I say no to the way this gal can bowl.
Leaves the 2-5. She was going for 3. Marion started this game 51 pins ahead, and that has added to that advantage. She and Laverne Carter oftentimes team up in doubles events around the country. How about that 2-5? She's very accurate on those spares. Now Judy is up again. And I know that she can't help but be wondering as she gets ready to roll in the 4th frame. I'm wondering what in the world is going to happen now. But I just keep firing and see what happens. Boy, it can't get any worse. Perfect hits in the 10 pin. Just barely touched by that 6.
Little lesson for the viewers. While Judy will stand the left on the approach, whenever you're shooting for a 10 pin, you should be on the left side and go across the lane and walk directly towards the pin or in the area of the pin to the left.
And she gets the 10 pin. She has already at a very early age acquired quite a style of bowling, a very fine bowling form, and as Whitey told you, she is still in the process of learning. She has a lot of years ahead of her in this sport. Atta girl. Now, if it hadn't been for that 10 pin, that would have been a double, but...
And the 8-10 right before that, Jack. So their last 3 pitches have been pretty good, right in the pocket.
Marion has a spare, a double, a spare as she bowls in the 5th frame. Pretty much on the nose, left the 7 pin.
Jack, I don't think we've had a chance to actually see how the Brunswick A2 automatic and the return works. I think this will be a good chance after Marion throws her ball to see how she lines up on the other approach and see if that ball does return in that time.
She throws at the 7 pin, takes it down. So Judy Audsley has 56 through the 4th with a strike, and Marion Ladewig has 87 through the 4th with a spare.
Come back pretty fast.
a bomb that time. She's applauded by Judy Audsley for that hit. That was the third strike of this game for Marion. She had 3 in the second game. Started with only 2 in the first and didn't get a strike until the 8th frame of the first game. So neither lady has really been very much at home in this session. Now a 4-pin. And as we indicated, the youngster could very well have 4 in a row. Left the 8-10, a solid 10, got a strike in the 5th, and now a 4-pin with that good hit which we just saw. She was really bearing down on that 4-pin. She had missed it earlier in this match, you know, and so she stayed with that one all the way. We're at the Marlboro Lanes, where Top Star Bowling is taking place. 4-7. Not a good hit that time. At age 18, this young lady at whom you're looking was runner-up in the World's Invitational. And her opponent here is the gal who beat her. And another spare.
Looks like she looks over at Laverne for some advice. I mean, not Laverne, I'm thinking of someone else, but of Marion. When Judy comes back, she always looks at Marion.
And now the 6-10.
I think you hit it on the head before, Jack, when you commented, and I don't know how many times that I've had an opportunity to see Marion bowl and win her championships, but her percentage of picking spares must be tremendous I'm speaking of years, and this is probably what has aided her more in a lot of the close matches.
Well, you almost talked her into one right there, didn't you?
Oh, I really call them. That's me.
Over the period of weeks, quite a few of our men bowlers have had difficulty on the right side of the lane with that 10-pin and the 6-10. And the 2-5 is always a treacherous one in the bucket. You just got to knock them down. That's all there is to it. There's a fine strike by Marion Ladewig in the 8th frame. She's had 4 strikes. Now Judy is up in the 8th. Gee, I'd like to see her strike this thing out, even though she's not going to win the match. Another 4-6. She had a 4-6 in the first game. 4-6-10 in the second game. A 4-6 in this game twice. A 9 count for her in the 8th frame.
Just been wondering, I wonder if Mother Audsley's going to take the little one behind the woodshed tonight.
Well, they have some bowling lanes back there or what?
Yes, and I guess because she'll be out practicing. You're kidding, but actually I'll bet she goes out practicing after this match.
Can't get the strikes. Her good hits are not carrying. She has 121 through the 8th. Could bring this one back and then strike it out for 171. There's her spare in the 9th frame. She's had 3 splits in this game. Now Marion Ladewig in the 9th frame. Has a strike up. Crossed over, left the 3-6-10.
Jack, the 3-6-10, and that's with the Brunswick pin finder now. You can see how it lights that up clear. Plus, at the same time, that pin finder stays on. This helps the bowler. Sometimes when a pin might be behind another one, why it enables the bowler to know it's there. We'll see how Marion shoots this from the left side of the approach.
Wants to cover that 3-6, and she does. So she's spare in the 9th. Now let's see what Marion does in the 10th frame.
I don't think we have to just go into pinfall bit right now. I mean, you've concluded that Marion is so far out in front.
There's one of them in the 10th frame, giving her 187.
You're right. No errors in this match by Marion Ladewig, just those splits.
And the splits all came her way in the first game when she had 4 of them. And no double. Brings us back for 207.
This, I think, is apparent, Jack, that when Marion was involved in the first game with those splits, she made whatever adjustments and has been able to keep the next 2 games clear. And probably this is where experience really comes in, which little Judy didn't have at this particular match.
207 for Marion Ladewig. Following a 155 and a 202, a 207. 564 for Marion. Judy Audsley in the 10th frame.
Jack, I think I did it again. It's 565.
Judy trying to spare in the 10th.
As I keep playing around with these figures here, Jack, I think it's actually 207 in the last game, and Marion's total would be then 564.
And Judy 158. So the youngster just couldn't get going as Marion Ladewig wins it. Marion totaling the match 564, and Judy Audsley a 464. Let's take care of the money right now before chatting with the ladies about the match just concluded. And each week, a graduate of the John Robert Power School of Modeling and the Pat Allen Agency here in St. Louis comes along with the money. Gloria Decker is our guest this week. Gloria?
How do you do? Judy, it's been real nice watching you bowl, and you too, Marion, and I'd like to present to you, Judy, this check for $500. It's a real nice game. And for you, Marion, the winner, a check for $1,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Gloria. And Marion, our congratulations on another victory.
Thank you, Jack.
Put that in your scrapbook and put the check in the bank.
I certainly will.
Some more dresses and shoes for the grandchildren, huh?
Right.
And a little one?
I don't deserve it.
Oh, yeah, you deserve that. You deserve that for the grins when things were going wrong. You deserve at least $500. What was wrong out here? Oh, yeah. Is that what it was? I'm glad to hear you say that because Whitey and I were kicking it around up here. You haven't had many chances in your short and youthful career to appear under such circumstances, have you?
No.
Huh? And it does make a difference, Marion, huh?
Yes, it does. It certainly does. You know, we were both in trouble that first game.
Yeah, but you adjusted. You changed around, got away from those splits.
Well, you know, that goes from a lot of schooling way back. Whenever you're in trouble, go to angle. And I did.
Remember that. You've heard it before? Huh? Judy, you're great. You're always nice to be with, and we're certainly happy that you could have been here on Top Star Bowling. Next time you'll be a winner.
I hope so.
Huh? Nice going, Judy. Good
Thank
to see
you.
Nice to meet your mom here this week, too. And Marion, always glad to see you.
Thank you very much.
I know you've just finished applauding, but how about once again for our 2 fine performers here? Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed watching the ladies in Top Star Bowling. I know we've had a lot of fun with their presence here. I'm speaking for Whitey Harris. Jack Buck says thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. Top Star Bowling has been presented by Bowling Equipment development by Brunswick, the #1 name in bowling. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress.